The 10092nd meeting of the Security Council is called to order. The provisional agenda for this meeting is reports of the Secretary General on the Sudan and South Sudan. The agenda is adopted. In accordance with Rule 37 of the Council's Provisional Rules of Procedure, I invite the representative of Sudan to participate in this meeting. It is so decided. In accordance with Rule 39 of the Council's Provisional Rules of Procedure, I invite Ms. Nazat Shamim Khan, Deputy Prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, to participate in this meeting. It is so decided. The Security Council will now begin its consideration of item 2 of the agenda. I now give the floor to Deputy Prosecutor Nazat Shamim Khan.
Mr. President, thank you for the opportunity to brief the Security Council today. It was my hope and intention to be with you today in the Council chamber, in particular, given the importance of this moment in Darfur. But I regret that I was not granted a visa in order to be able to provide my briefing in line with the mandate provided by the Council. Please allow me to also express my thanks to His Excellency, the Permanent Representative of Sudan to the United Nations, for his attendance. Mr. President, Excellencies, since I last addressed this Council, the situation in Darfur has darkened even further. Darfuris, as we speak, are being subjected to collective torture. The fall of al-Fasher to the RSF has been accompanied by an organized, calculated campaign of the most profound suffering, targeting non-Arab communities in particular. Rape, arbitrary detention, executions, mass graves, all perpetrated on a massive scale. Many of these crimes have been filmed and celebrated by those committing them. This dreadful situation is still ongoing, fueled by a sense of complete impunity. Our response to this must not be mere platitudes here in this chamber, but must represent real action on the ground. As reflected in my report, the Office of the Prosecutor is working intensively, collecting evidence, accelerating its investigations together with affected communities, both with respect to crimes committed in Al Junaina, in West Darfur, and in al-Fasher, in North Darfur. Mr. President, Excellencies, based on information and evidence collected by the Office in this reporting period, including video, audio, and satellite data, it is the assessment of the Office of the Prosecutor that war crimes and crimes against humanity have been committed in al-Fasher, including in particular in late October as a culmination of the siege of the city by the Rapid Support Forces. Video material analyzed by the Office shows a similar pattern of crimes previously seen being allegedly committed by the RSF in other areas of Darfur, including detention, mistreatment, and killings of persons from non-Arab tribes. Members of the RSF are seen celebrating direct executions and subsequently desecrating corpses. Our work has been focused on corroborating these images with a range of other sources in pursuit of individual criminal responsibility for these acts. This has included analysis of satellite imagery indicative of mass killing events, and attempts to conceal crimes through the establishment of mass graves. Engaging with affected communities and identifying potential witnesses to obtain and corroborate preliminary collected information. Processing submissions received from civil society organizations and other partners, which have further mirrored video evidence collected. The picture that is emerging is appalling. Organized, widespread, mass criminality, including mass executions. Atrocities which are used as a tool to assert control. As also reflected in my report, with respect to Al Junaynah, the office has made significant progress in its investigative work. We have conducted interviews with direct witnesses to attacks in countries hosting Sudanese refugee communities. They have provided compelling evidence of attacks against camps for internally displaced persons, pillaging, indiscriminate targeting of civilian populations, detentions, gender-based crimes, and crimes against and affecting children. The evidence shows that the patterns of atrocities in Al Junaynah in 2023 have been replicated in Al Fasher in 2025. This criminality is being repeated in town after town in Darfur. It will continue until this conflict and the sense of impunity that fuels it are stopped. As I emphasized to the Council in my last briefing, as part of our investigations, we are ensuring a thorough and effective approach to the investigation of gender-based crimes. It is undeniable, based on our investigations, that sexual violence, including rape, is being used as a tool of war in Darfur. This is clear from our engagement with affected communities, from the accounts we have heard directly, and from our close cooperation with UN partners and other organizations documenting these atrocities. The systematic and effective investigation of these crimes will remain a key priority in the coming period. In this context, we are aware and have had discussions also with authorities from the government of Sudan on the cultural and gender barriers to reporting such crimes to us, and indeed to any relevant partner. This places a responsibility on us to ensure that our investigations and outreach are conducted in a cultural and gender-sensitive manner, requiring a close involvement of the Office of the Prosecutor's Gender and Children's Unit, and requiring an ongoing focus on ensuring that our investigators are gender competent and culturally aware. We are also aware that there are reports of Rome Statute crimes allegedly committed by the Sudanese armed forces in Darfur, and we are ensuring documentation of such reports. All parties involved in the conflict must ensure they meet their obligation under international law and must not target civilian populations and facilities. We call on all those who may have further information in relation to alleged crimes in Al Fasher, Al Junaynah, and across Darfur to come forward and provide this to the ICC, in particular through the secure online platform OTP Link. This is the moment to ensure that all of our collective efforts and all information held by our partners and affected communities are used in pursuit of our active investigations. Mr. President, Excellencies, as we have intensified our investigations in Darfur, we have also seen a significant if only a first step towards justice in The Hague. On the 6th of October 2025, Mr. Ali Mohammed Abdul Rahman was convicted by the International Criminal Court of war crimes and crimes against humanity committed in Darfur, including murder, torture, and outrages upon personal dignity. The judges of the trial chamber unanimously convicted him of all charged criminal conduct. On the 9th of December, he was sentenced to 20 years imprisonment for these crimes. Mr. Abdul Rahman was found by the ICC judges to be the Janjaweed leader known as Ali Kushayb, and confirmed his role as direct perpetrator and co-perpetrator, as well as confirming his responsibility for ordering the commission of these atrocities. They also confirmed his close connection to senior members of the government of Sudan, including ICC fugitives, Minister Abdul Rahim Mohammed Hussein and Ahmed Haroun. The conviction and sentencing of Mr. Abdul Rahman represents several landmarks. It is the first conviction resulting from a referral by the Security Council to the court, but also the first conviction in the Darfur situation, as well as the first conviction on grounds of gender-based persecution at the ICC. Of course, any relief brought by this moment must be set against the deep, ongoing suffering we see currently in Darfur. But Darfuris have underlined to us again and again that this trial and this conviction do indeed represent important, meaningful outcomes for the hundreds and thousands of victims who fled their homes in 2003 and 2004, and those who suffered at the hands of the Janjaweed. It is our commitment to them, to all victims in Darfur, and to this council today, that this first conviction will, in time, be seen not just as a landmark, but as a catalyst for much broader, deeper accountability for crimes committed against the people of Darfur through the work of the ICC. Mr. President, Excellencies, if we are to build on this progress, if we are to ensure that the conviction of Ali Kushayb sets the basis for further accountability, the expanded and active cooperation of our partners will be essential. The scale of suffering and criminality in Darfur at present can only be addressed if we work together. In the last 6 months, we have seen some key steps forward in our cooperation with a range of partners, which have set the basis for progress made. They include strong collaboration with a number of African states, and in particular, the government of Chad, which has facilitated access to its territory, thus enabling the conduct of a number of interviews with members of affected communities. Deepened cooperation with our civil society partners, including through dedicated in-person events held in a number of states aimed at identifying ways to work more effectively together in the documentation of crimes committed in Darfur, and expanded engagement with the United Nations fact-finding mission for the Sudan, as well as other UN partners, in particular with respect to gender-based crimes. Despite this notable progress, our investigations continue to face significant obstacles, including limited access to relevant witness populations and the lack of safe access to crime scenes. Many potential witnesses face serious challenges related to their own safety, making it essential that any engagement with them is conducted in a manner that ensures robust protection against intimidation or reprisal. In the face of these significant challenges, we need more support. I have highlighted in my report key areas where additional assistance and investment of resources are sought from states, international and regional organizations, and our civil society partners. States in particular can play an even more central role in supporting our work, including by sharing satellite imagery and other audio, visual, and digital information and intelligence relevant to the investigation, supporting the identification, screening,